Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson. This is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
And tonight we'll be reviewing Seance, that was released in 2021. Don't confuse it with The Seance, because they came out at the same time.
Same year. This is Seance, just not THC. THC is not in front of it, okay?
Yeah, I just thought you should warn you ahead of time, as per usual.
But we'll more on this later on, okay? Now,
exactly so.
Here we go. Supernatural horror, like we said. Now, produced by Russell Ackerman, Thomas Takaj, D-E-C-K-A-J, John Schoenfelder, and Alex Mace. Written and directed by Simon Barrett. Now, I don't know about anything about budget and box office. Can't find a skerrick on it. Now, I don't know if this went to a theatre's limited release, straight to a streaming service, Netflix. I've got no idea. Yeah. So your guess is as good as mine, folks. Okay, right. Now, here we go. A list of players.
A list of cast of thousands.
Right. Suki Waterhouse. I know that name from other movies somewhere. Anyway, Suki Waterhouse plays Camille Meadows. Madison Beatty plays Bethany. Inanna Sarkis plays Alice. Ella-Rae Smith plays Helena. Stephanie S.Y. plays Yvonne. Juliet, I think. Amara plays Rosalind Carlyle. Jade Michael plays Lenora. Seamus Patterson plays Trevor Landry. And now, Marina Stephenson Kerr plays Mrs. Landry. That's his mum.
Yeah.
And Megan Best plays Kerry Riley.
Yeah, just so you guys know, when I seen this movie yesterday, I thought it would probably be done in either an English a real boarding school somewhere. But as it turns out, this place is actually in Canada.
Probably. It's a Canadian production, I believe.
Yeah, and most of these buildings you will see in the movie are actually abandoned, and they just reconstructed them to make it, for the actual production to make.
Well, here's something for you. Made a minute about England. England has a lot to do with Canada. I believe they actually own a lot of real estate. They might have did a lot of previous settling there as well with English people, so they might have had an English feel to the area too.
Because the building itself, the structure, does make me think of an English boarding school.
Yeah, a bit. Yeah.
A bit. I mean, I imagine there are a few boarding schools, around, but maybe not as old worldly building like that anymore.
I wouldn't mind going to a girls' boarding school.
Like him.
Sorry.
Yes, so it looks like something out of an English.
Not sorry, really.
It looks like something out of an English lifestyle type of.
English country garden. Anyway, sorry. What?
Shut up.
Sorry.
Anyway, this one's an interesting one because it's not. It's pretty much like it's a supernatural slasher.
Sort of.
Yeah, I think it is.
People are killed in different ways. Yeah, I've thrown little slashes, but
the slasher comes in a lot more in this, but there's a lot of suspicion and a lot of mystery. Yeah, mystery.
A bit of mystery and suspense.
And it's like a whodunit, like per usual.
That's not good English, is it? Whodunit.
Well, that's the term these days, people. It's the old English term.
Well, I actually whodunit. I don't know if it's English or American or whatever, but it came out somewhere a long time ago.
Probably from Agatha Christie's day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, another whodunit story. So I don't know.
Anyway, do you want me to begin the story?
Well, I got nothing more to say about this point in time. Say miles ago and tell the tale.
Okay, the story begins. A bunch of girls are in the bathroom and they're reciting some Latin words, I think. I'm not sure if
they're
Latin.
casting a spell to try
conjure up a dead person.
A dead student who had who committed suicide in the school some years back.
And the girls, actually, it was more of a prank, it turns out, and scared one of the girls, and she heads back to her room. And then that very same night, she gets thrown from her from her window.
Well, we don't know. We believe he was thrown out or forced out of the window.
To a lot of people, they don't know if she was pushed or she
jumped
or
whatever,
or both.
But later, I think I know who did it.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, we then, a year later, I think, I'm not sure, a new student is joining their the boarding school.
Well, I don't know if it's a year later. It's just sometime later.
Sometime later, I guess. A girl named Camille.
Camille.
And she's joining up at the school, and of course, she's given an interview with the headmistress.
Yeah.
And she then is shown to her room, which is actually the same room where the girl that died previously,
used to reside.
And all through the movie, we see a lot of flickering lights. They keep saying it's ghosts flickering it, but I like to think it's sort of Morse code to the humans, indicating the ghosts are trying to communicate to the humans, even though we don't really explore that fact.
It's a little bit of a grey area,
Anyway, so she then makes the acquaintance of the rest of the girls that did that original thingy wing.
They're the biggest pack
of wolves I've ever seen.
Nasty people,
Yeah, one of the girls who's a nasty piece.
That'd be Alice, right?
She wanted to pick a fight with the newbie because Camille was actually sitting in her seat. Well, la-di-da, get over it.
Suck it up.
Suck it up. Move on. Get your own new chair. Anyway, they get into a fist fight, and of course, like always in any school, they refuse to tell who started the fight without getting everyone else in trouble. So they're forced to go to clean the books in the library, or at least organize them or something, whatever. They then
what I think they actually put in detention to sort books and possibly scan them into a reference library.
Yeah, reference library, whatever.
Big jobs. You're on detention until the job's finished. Mm-hmm. That can be an awful long time.
Yeah, so the girls, while they're doing this, Camille eventually befriends one of the other girls, who's a nice Afro-American, who's really nice, who was actually close to our girl who died. I think her name was Carrie.
Yeah.
Right? And they were really close, but I guess after she died, things changed in the group. Like the head girl, who's the nasty one, she and another girl were acting more nastier, or I don't know.
Yeah, really horrible.
Yeah.
Mean. That's not even good name. Mean Girls or something, right?
Too late, already been done.
Right.
Anyway, so they decide to do a seance. So it's using I don't know what using a pen as a bit of its
a pen or a crayon or something stuff through.
I think it was actually lipstick.
Could be lipstick.
It looked like it came off as lipstick.
Well, could have, yeah.
Anyway, they then start using it for an automatic writing thing, I think it was.
A planchette with a thing on it. Yeah, do some automatic writing instead of having your old Ouija board.
Yeah, even though that's not how it works with plan checks.
Yes, you can.
Anyway, they plan on summoning the long-dead student from many, many years ago. Not the current one that just passed away.
No, the old one.
Yeah. So she begins to write, and as she's writing all this information, stuff like that, and we find out that there was probably some murder going to be happening. Eventually, the lights go out, and the headmistress appears and tells them, well, doesn't tell them anything, just thinks that they're wasting time with probably telling ghost stories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The girls head to their rooms, and as they're heading to their rooms, one of the girls gets, I think, let me see, what was happening? Oh yeah, she kind of gets spooked by a spookable.
What?
Well, that's Camille anyway. She gets spooked by something. And that very night, I think it was, one of the girls suddenly ups and disappears, and we don't know what becomes of her. And then later on, two more girls, they get killed along the way. And I think they mostly disappeared, right? Too, because
one disappeared out. Oh, yeah, one got killed outside. That was the first one. That was okay. Who was his name? Lenore? No.
That's the thing about this. Like,
I can't remember. Girl missing. I think Lenore was attacked and killed outside. I think. I think that's the one. Yeah. And then later on, one of the girls was she killed in the ballet studio?
Yes.
And the other one killed in the shower.
And the other one was in the shower.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they start suspecting Camille. They kind of even did the Ouija board again, and they say that Camille is the person.
But the plot thickens.
The girls soon enough go their separate ways, but of course Camille's only friend of the group, decides to try to believe her and they kind of stay in each other's sight by staying in each other's rooms for a time. I think they're in love with one another.
Well, seeking solace in each other's company.
Anyway,
that's nice,
the mean girl, she eventually heads off. She's going to meet someone. I think it was the dead girl that got killed in the ballet studio, I think. She's probably unaware that her friend's dead.
Yes.
At this point.
You can't go and meet a dead person. It's pretty awkward.
And she runs into the killer, and he knocks her out. Then we cross over to Camilla, and Camilla gets knocked out and dragged off. And we discover the killer and it's his accomplice. Yeah, the killer and his accomplice.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the accomplice is the killer, but the person who's really the planner of
the
mastermind is one of the girls in the group. As it turns out, she was going to win a competition, or using one of the girls' stories. She stole it from Carrie, and published it for herself. And if the rest of the group heard of it, which I imagine they were close, so they would have heard this.
Yeah, Bethany was a bad one. Yeah,
It's Bethany, and she says that if the girls of the rest of the group knew the story that was submitted, they would know that she was guilty of plagiarism.
No, she stole it. She stole the girl's manuscript and put a name on it.
Yeah. See, this involves a scholarship that's like.
She got $250,000 or something, right?
Yeah,
that's a good motive for a
and
schoolgirl.
And Trevor, who is the son to the headmistress, he's a bit cracked in the head, and he's had a disturbing history. The girl that we mentioned, whom they've been summoning at the beginning, he actually had a sick fantasization for her. And when she rejected him, he actually took a hammer and hit her on the head. And I think his mom was aware of this and decided to put him to get him some help. But the help didn't really help much.
No, the help was helpful. Not very helpful. No,
so he started helping Bethany to continue his obsession with killing and hurting people.
Why not?
And she does it because she wants the scholarship and the money and stuff like that, and doesn't want any of the other girls getting in her way, because she doesn't care about the other girls at this point in time.
Not really. She's a greedy cow.
And she wants to blame the crimes on Camille.
You're going to set her up.
Yeah, because she broke into it. She did a fight with them, and what better way to get everything away from her is by making Camilla into a scapegoat. But they made one teeny weeny error in this case. They wrote, when they were doing the seance, Camille. But that's not her real name.
She was using a fake name.
See, they goofed
up. The ghost would have known.
Yeah. They planted evidence, stuff like that, but they didn't realize that they just goofed up big time. Imagine when the police would discover this evidence, would probably be baffled by the fact that it may not be her real identity.
The police might be able to find Camille because they've resisted.
Yeah. See, Camille, the girl who's the girl in present, she's good at the girl that's not present is actually good at ballet. When this girl here, she doesn't know how to do ballet. She's not skilled. So she's actually stolen someone else's alias. So she attend the school.
Yes, she could enroll.
She was originally a friend to Karen, who they were best friends when they were growing up, and I guess when she heard the news that her best friend died, she wanted to find out from herself how it happened.
Yeah, she wanted to investigate and find out who the culprits were. Yeah.
She then kicks the accomplice's butt, and eventually she and the two other girls escape, and she confronts the other girl off, and eventually she kills her with a light fixture.
Those long fluorescent tubes, they broke one of them, she picked up the tube, the broken bit of the tube, and shoved it in her neck and dragged it across the throat. Very nicely done.
It was disgusting.
Very good. Nice wrist action.
Anyway, then the girls go off to go call the police, and Trevor, who was still alive at this time, he brags about how he will go to jail. I would give him, say, 5 weeks or a month, and he will probably come back out again, and asked by his mother's influences.
Yeah, well, not 5 weeks. He wouldn't spend a lot of time in there.
He probably won't spend very much time in there because of his medical history. They'll just say he has a bit of an issue up here, I'm pointing to my head, and think there is no cause for him to be committed to prison life because he's deranged.
They can also blame Bethany for the murders.
Exactly.
He was just following her around like a little lost puppy or something.
Camilla decides to put an end to his blabbering and just cut his life short, crushing him under a big file cabinet.
Well, he was laying down there in the file cabinet, he pushed it down, so it actually knocked his head off, totally off his shoulders. Yeah. Very nicely
The blood
done, too.
seeps out.
Splurt.
And then she returns to her room and starts gathering her belongings. And we see a bunch of letters and some photos of her with Karen. And we then Carrie, sorry. And we realize that she's best friends with her when she was, before she headed to the school. Yeah. She makes her leave, and one of the girls, what's her name?
Helena.
Approaches her, and of course, Camille tells her that Camille never existed, and she may not be able to find her again. So they do a bit of a nice goodbye kiss, in a nice way, and she sees up in the window her dead friend, Carrie, waving goodbye, and
so she waves goodbye to both of them. The tunnel's off.
Yeah, and then she disappears off to the afterlife, and Camille, she heads off down, into the woods, while the other girl heads back to the school, waiting for the police to arrive. The end. We fade to black.
Fade to black, man. Oh,
that's the movie of the Seance movie. So, what do you think of it, Mike? When you watched it last night, what were your impressions?
Well, and I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. Okay, this was obviously an independent film. Okay?
True, it was. So, it sounds like it.
As an independent film, I judged them a little bit different to A-grade movies. Okay, here we go. Fine. Storyline wasn't bad. Could have been a little bit more creepy, maybe a bit more suspense, maybe. Yeah. It was it was lacking a little bit in that regard. The storyline was good, don't get me wrong. The acting wasn't bad, but it just needed something else in it to spice it up just a little bit and make it a bit more entertaining. Is that a good word? Entertaining.
That's pretty much a good way to put it, Mike.
But everything else was good. I mean, the sets were good, the acting was good, the direction seemed to be pretty good. There's no major problem. It just lacked that something, I think, that oomph factor.
It makes me think of some of Dario Argento's.
Had a feeling of it? Yeah.
It makes me think of Suspiria, and maybe another boarding school movie he made years ago. I can't remember the name, but it makes me think of both of those two that deal with either dealing with a killer, and at the same time there's something interesting involved with the protagonist. Yeah. That's what my impression
Dario
is.
Argento did a lot better, though.
Did it a lot better, but there was nothing wrong with these. This
wasn't bad for an independent. It wasn't too bad. Yeah.
I thought get that vibe from it because it deals with two types of things. There's a slasher killer running around loose, and there's supernatural occurrences with the ghost trying to tell her side of the story. Even though at the same time we keep thinking it's the ghost from years ago, but it's actually the present ghost who's trying to warn her friends and probably giving them trying to tell them about what's happening. Even though I imagine she's not the one writing because in the Ouija board sense, because the girl, Bethany, she was using a magnet to redirect the words.
Yeah, somehow or other, I don't know what the thing was made out of, but she's using a magnet to control the writing of the planchette with the lipstick or crayon or whatever it was. So she was coordinating the whole lot of it underneath the table with a very strong magnet. It would have to be strong to go for a table and have that much pull. But yeah, so she was the naughty little person who was very good at table writing.
Yeah. What really she goofed up was the fact that she was unaware that Camilla was doing exactly what she was doing. She was trying to be one step ahead of the rest of her and all the time because they thought that it was that she was named Camille. They thought, then that they'll plant evidence, probably put a few false letters, notes, and not realize that once the police looks at her identification, which she probably has on her bags and possessions, they'll find that her name is not a match.
No.
Or even for the fact the writing that they put together on the notes and stuff would not be a penman match either.
No.
I mean, it seems Camille, the girl in this, she's like a professional fighter. I wouldn't be surprised. She's probably also a martial artist. Even.
She might know a bit about
because she seems like she knows how to look after herself.
Like kickboxing or karate or something.
Judo.
Or whatever.
She did a good job kind of defending herself when she was facing against the two evil bad guys in the production. She didn't seem to come off as a girly, like struggling, like
hey little girly whirly, Paul save me. No,
or yelling for help. They even wanted her to, when she had a knife pressed against her throat, said for her to cry out for help or all that stuff. But Camilla's doesn't come off to me as the please help me. I'm a little girly whirly. She's actually seems to be knows how to look after herself. She's not scared on a shaky leg type of girl or fainting type of one. Even though fainting girls have long been. Well, years ago, obviously. You don't see them anymore. You see...
Not in the days of movies. About the olden days, like the hero would save the girl, the damsel in distress sort of thing. But the females have got stronger characters nowadays, which is good, more realistic.
More realistic to our point of view. So, anyway... So there's no box office ratings there?
No, I don't know whether it went to a limited release or to... something like Netflix or some sort of streaming service. I got no idea.
Okay, what about rating or
funny you should ask.
Or other reviewers? I'd like to know.
I just said funny you should ask. Okay, not a lot. Okay, one of my favourites, Rotten Tomatoes.
That'd be interesting.
Out of 35 critics, they got about worked out 50-50.
Okay.
Actually worked out to be 51% positive rating.
Okay.
The consensus is writer-director Simon Barrett has a certain filmmaking flair, but it isn't enough to raise Séance above the somewhat pedestrian story, whatever that means.
Whatever that means.
IndieWire is another crowd. Independence. IndieWire, Kate Erbland stated the film doesn't just grow more mysterious, gory, and spiky as it goes on. It also grows more convoluted.
What's that mean?
Mixed up and jumbled.
Is that good or bad?
I don't think it was anyway, and I think she doesn't. I was just talking about because somebody else said the same thing. Because obviously they weren't following the story. Convoluted and jumbled are the same sort of thing. I found the story went along okay.
I thought it was pretty interesting.
Maybe they went to the toilet and they missed something. I don't know. Now, Lena Wilson from the New York Times said, when the film does choose a genre, It occasionally sticks the landing, whatever that means, but Seance ultimately feels jumbled.
Gee, is that
Another person who really doesn't know what they're talking about, because we watched it and I followed the story and it all pieced together quite nicely, like a jigsaw.
Yeah.
I
don't see anything wrong with it.
I don't think Kate or Lena actually liked this sort of movie and they were forced to review it.
Yeah, I think they just couldn't figure out whether this was a haunted movie or a slasher.
Well, it's actually said it's labelled a supernatural horror. That's close enough.
Yeah.
It is supernatural. There's a ghost in it. It's horrific.
And we're being chased down by a psycho killer.
Yeah. What do you want to do? Do you want a supernatural horror, action, comedy, fantasy film, or what? Does that cover everybody?
I think it's good. I mean, the idea of as long as the ghost is not an over-top ghost. I mean, I kind of like the fact that the ghost is an observer, not a vengeful spirit type one. It's more of a, it just interacts, like it watches, like he represents the audience. The audience cannot do anything. They just sits and watch. So that's the job of the ghost in this production.
And the ghost can maybe a warning just by its presence there.
Ghost can be a warning to those who,
like a black crow raven outside the window going peck, 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 on the window.
Yeah, exactly so. And I don't see a big problem there. It kind of was pretty cool that Camille came there for a purpose, not just to discover the possible conclusion of how her friend may have died.
Yeah, whatever.
And it's interesting that we don't know the identity of her, we
don't know who she really was. All we know is she was a friend of the dead girl at the beginning of the movie. That's it. So,
productions, you always suspect the person who arrives who might likely be that said person who being the slasher. Sometimes. It doesn't happen often. Sometimes he becomes a savior to the group.
We saw the Wednesday Adam film thing, and she was a newcomer. She wasn't the naughty one.
True. See, it's usually sometimes the newcomer can be viewed as the savior or the villain in the production.
Or the catalyst to everything let loose all at once because this person has shown up. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. Anyway. A suspicious set of characters can really sell the story sometimes and give you the vibe that you should watch this person.
So you don't know whether this is going to be a naughty person or somebody else who looks totally innocent. Mm-hmm. In this case, it was a person who looked totally innocent. There you go. Right.
So anyway, I have no judgments on this movie, and unlike these.
Did I give it 8 before?
No.
I was talking about it. I was talking about it. And we digressed.
Yeah. Okay. See, these reviewers, the 3 of them, have said that this movie is a jumble of facts and stuff like that in the production. I don't think it's jumble. It's pretty straightforward.
They weren't following the movie. I'd say they just didn't care, and they went, "Oh, this is boring as bat's piss. I don't like it."
Yeah.
And they weren't paying attention to it.
Yeah.
They don't like it, so fine. Get somebody who actually likes them to review them.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. A slasher supernatural take on it.
Exactly.
A mixture with a good balance.
It wasn't a bad. Could have been a little bit better, but wasn't bad. Yeah. That's right. I'm going to give it an 8.
I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 myself. Yeah,
because I think doing an independent job, and also it was written and directed by the one guy.
Yeah. Also, the fact
he had a vision in his head he wanted to do, and maybe it came out the way he wanted. Maybe it was restricted by budget. Don't know.
And just maybe. The other Seance movie, the one they called The Seance. It was probably, when it was released, it was probably getting either more or less press than this one. That's what happens when a movie, especially with the same title, could get either not enough press or enough interest.
Actually, you keep them going for a minute. I'll go and have a quick look. I'll just go to the other computer.
Yeah. See, most of the time, if 2 movies come out at the same time with the same title or same story or similar themes, might automatically get the influence boost or interest boost. And sometimes these movies would just generally develop a very big public, audience for that sort of thing. But it's not always happens. Sometimes it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes it doesn't, and it's a little sad when one movie doesn't get the praise it needs and the other one doesn't. Like looking at Volcano and Dante's Peak, both of them were Volcano movies and both came out the same time, and they were both fighting for the right to be the best volcano disaster film in that time, and it was a little difficult at that time. So they were fighting either a winning or losing battle between them two.
Yeah, whatever.
So anyway, that's the sort of thing that often happens in movies. Whenever a movie has the same title or same themes, you get that kind of conflict.
Hello. Now, I went and had a look. The Seance, which is the other movie, is 2021, is about Harry Houdini and how he was debunking mediums and stuff.
Oh yeah, I heard about him.
Yeah. That
about the fact he was
he went to different medium seance and stuff to find out whether they're lying and cheating, which most of them were.
Yeah, see, Houdini, if you guys heard, he went to so many seances so he could try to contact his long dead mother.
Yes, well, not that long dead, but
Well,
she passed away, and
she
she
passed
said
away.
if she could, she'd come back and tell him. And he went to seances, and they had a code word or something or other, or
No, that was with Harry and his wife.
his
Bess.
wife. Oh, his wife.
See, his wife, when he passed away, Harry,
That's right, yeah.
he told Bess in his
That's right.
in his last days that they'll have a code word.
Yeah.
So when she does go to a seance or to a
Whatever,
person,
yeah.
they will try to get that
Hey, wait,
particular
your husband
word.
here, so what's the code word? What code word? Nah.
They probably would have come up with several words, and most of them would have been a failure attempt.
But going back to Harry Houdini's mother, we're not reviewing that movie, but wasn't she was Jewish?
She was Jewish.
And she
could not speak English too.
And now there's some controversy there that the spirit was talking in English, not Yiddish. And she was a very good point.
Yeah, they say that in heaven you'll be able to speak English up there. I don't think so.
No, I don't know. I don't think language is actual barrier. It might come out in the language of the medium.
True.
But some mediums come out in a foreign language, speaking the language of the deceased.
Yeah.
You see, so it's a grey area. Don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not talking about that movie anyway.
Well, anyway, I just thought I might bring it up,
Just
guys.
throw it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it? What did that movie? Did it have a good reception
I didn't
or
look at it. I just had a quick look at what it was. I couldn't find too much on it. Okay, it's just a drama, I think. Anyway, irrespective. Now, getting back onto here.
Okay, back to this one.
Right. Those of you who want to give this one a run for its money, okay, you can buy it on eBay.
Okay.
Amazon does have it as a rentable, and you can also buy it there. But we stress it's called Seance, not the Seance. So if in doubt, check if the cover of the DVD has a bunch of schoolgirls on it, you've got the right one. If not, go looking for the producer directors. Okay?
Yeah. There's also
Or the main star is that Suki Waterhouse.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
always check the names.
Yeah, names of the people involved. I've had some people have bought things, not for us here, but on Amazon saying, I bought this movie, it's crappy because the wrong movie, it's a rort. They ordered the wrong bloody movie, didn't they? You know?
Often enough, sometimes people, like on Amazon, they put in the wrong post, they put in the poster from that movie, but it's the actual, when you do order the DVD, you order it and then it comes to your mailbox and then you find out this is not the movie you ordered because it's not the same one that was on the Amazon.
Well, yeah, but you got to look at the write-up on it as well.
True.
Sometimes they get the wrong poster or whatever, or the cover, but you look at it, this is a movie with Fred Smith in it, and Charlie Brown was the director. I always check those.
Yeah, whenever I was on Froggy, that's it. We often went on there a couple of times to find movies, and sometimes, often, when we do try to find a movie, it often gave you the wrong information.
Sometimes it does, yeah.
Wrong plot lines.
Yeah.
And sometimes the wrong listings and foreign
Exactly.
photos.
Yes. Right. Yeah. So yeah.
But then, and it's upsetting when you think about this sort of thing.
Yeah, Sarah's talking about some of the old movies we go looking for, which we can't buy anywhere. So we do look at the odd torrent on the odd occasion. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but there's some movies we just can't get through normal retail outlets or streaming services. So that's when we have to look a little bit further afield. And YouTube quality isn't what it should be. So
true.
So.
Sorry about that, folks.
Well, we don't normally use it.
No.
But when we do, you got to be really careful what you put in the computer and what you get in, because if you're going to buy something from Amazon or eBay or some streaming service, sometimes it's misleading, and you got to be really careful, and you might get something with the same name. How many Dracula movies are there? Come on, now.
Several.
And how many Zorro movies are there? I mean, if they say Zorro, The Adventures of Zorro, or Zorro Goes to Bali for a Holiday, or whatever it is, just put one word in there, you're going to get the wrong movie.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
You heard me more than once, guys, about this sort of thing, and as I said before, just be sure to check all your facts.
Yeah, just you always go in just a bit further and just look at the actors, producers, directors, that sort. And if there's a story right up, have a quick look at it. Oh, that's the right one. Oh, no, that's not what I was looking for, and then move on. Anyway, I can't think of anything else to say about it. There's not a lot of information I can find. I know it was possibly filmed in Canada. That's about it. Where? God only knows.
I did think it was kind of cool, the whole concept that the lead protagonist, the lead protagonist, and it was a girl whose identity is unknown to the audience, even though we do know that she has history with the previous person who passed away, right?
Aha, exactly. Anyway, before we bore them to tears by trying to sort of just talk about anything and what the cat did today and stuff, do you want to wrap some up, Billy?
Yes, might as well. Sorry, guys, this is a short one.
It's a short one.
I mean, I want to keep
really
it short because it's I have nothing against revealing every single detail, but as much as I want to, there was some things that were really cryptic to me.
We normally aim for in between half an hour and 45 minutes for a review. If we get a really, really, really good movie we want to talk about, or it's got a long plot, it's going to go over 45 minutes, over an hour. But anything over 30 minutes is good, and we're over 30 minutes now.
Heading up the $30 minute.
Yeah, so we're done pretty good this one.
Yeah, so feel free to check it out. Is it on Amazon?
It's on rent. Yeah, I said it already. eBay, there's plenty for sale. Amazon, you can rent it or buy it. Yeah. I would suggest you rent this one.
Yes, same, guys.
If you like it enough, then go and buy a copy.
Yes.
But at this point in time, just rent it and have a look at it.
Yeah, or you can also probably go on YouTube and see if there's a special hiring.
Oh yeah, there might be. Well, it's the same as the streaming thing. Yeah.
They often do that sometimes. If you don't want to go and buy it, on Amazon. I mean, rent it on Amazon.
Yeah, but some of the things you got to pay to be a member and pay for the fee.
If you're already a member,
pay for that service.
If you're already a member of YouTube or Google, then you will have it in.
The site on YouTube, like Fred Smith streaming.
Yes.
You got to pay Fred Smith for the streaming. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so you might as well go for Amazon. Your quality's going to get better.
So pay. You get a good deal if you. Get that sort of way. So that's about it for us guys tonight. So be sure to check it out and let us know in the comments what you think of Seance. Not the Sounds. Seance.
Forget the THE, okay?
Yeah, ignore that and don't ever...
So it's Seance 2021.
Yes.
Yes, with Suki Waterhouse as the main actor, directed by Simon Barrett, produced by Russell Ackerman. There you go.
All right.
Use those as guidelines.
All right, that's about it for us tonight, guys. Thanks for listening to our latest podcast, everyone. This is Sarah Stephenson.
And Michael.
Saying see you guys around on Boys and Ghouls Film Review.
Bye
for now.
Guys.